Hello and welcome to Adventures in Venueland, an EVMC podcast. Join us for this all-access pass backstage and behind the scenes with some of the brightest minds that cross the scope of the live event industry. I'm Dave Rettelberger.
And I'm Paul Hooper. We'll introduce you to incredible guests who journey with us as we dive deep into the world of venues, tours, festivals, and everything in between. Grab your laminate and meet us in Venueland.
We're visiting the Buckeye State today. Our guest has spent more than 20 years creating unforgettable live event experiences across sports and music, from major concert tours to the Cleveland Cavs' historic 2016 championship parade. That was 10 years ago. That's crazy. To Rocket Arena's record-breaking 30th anniversary. She's helped shape some of Northeast Ohio's biggest moments. Please welcome the Vice President of Event and Media Marketing for Rocket Arena, Carrie Samek. Carrie, how you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you both.
Yeah.
Thanks for making the time for us today. So, all right. So I know there's somebody listening today who says Rocket Arena. I think I know that, but it's changed names a few times. Walk us through Rocket Arena and give us a brief history of the 30-year run there.
Oh, yeah. So it all started back in 1994. We were Gund Arena at the time. And then it turned into when Dan Gilbert bought the team, came over. It actually was Quicken Loans Arena at one point. Everyone called it the Q.
Yeah,
which was a great nickname.
I remember those days. Yeah.
Everybody loves their venue nicknames. So it was the Q for a long time. And then it transitioned to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. And then, as we're celebrating the 30th anniversary, we decided mid-campaign to change our name again to Rocket Arena.
That's just to challenge everything, right? Just so.
Oh, yeah. Just a little,
You had a lot of free time on your hands, and they said, let's change it again.
Yeah. And you know what? It honestly, it worked out. I really like the arena name, to have, because Fieldhouse was fine, but we're an arena. So Rocket Arena, it's clean, it's easy to say, it's easy to remember. So
Rocket Arena is a great name.
It's uplifting like a rocket.
Yeah.
It's out of this world.
It's out of this world. Yeah. How many other puns?
So, all right, as an expert on name changing, what's the hardest part about changing a name, other than Facebook comments of people every time saying, it'll always be this to me?
Yeah, it'll always be the Q, it'll always be the guns, which we still love, those throwbacks. But I think the hardest thing we learned was actually changing our handle on social media. And shout out to Olivia, who is my arena marketing manager. She really went through the process to get that changed. And I'm sure you guys understand, getting anyone from Meta to respond or help you, it was just a little bit of a challenge, but she got through it. And I think that was probably the hardest part. But honestly, I didn't realize how expensive wayfinding in the city is, all the maps and the highway signage, just I didn't realize how many times our name was put out there within the city of Cleveland. So that was also eye-opening to me.
And I'm sure you're still finding it places, right?
Oh yeah. Yep. Old maps or whatever it is. But I mean, between the uniforms and just even changing the sign outside was really cool. We had a kind of a celebration once that went up, but it is just so many details go into changing your name. So I give our crew a lot of credit because it was in the middle of our season. So
yeah, sure, because you had nothing else going on.
It was fun.
It's enough to remember what you control kind of under your umbrella, but there's so much stuff out there that other people are linking to old website pages, or they're referring to things on, maybe it's a restaurant's page and it's calling it that, it's there's so many things that you don't even know people are doing, and then you're probably chasing them down, and we'll keep chasing them until you have another name change, and then
we're ready for it.
Well, it's funny because even with you'll be working with a tour that you've worked with 1,000 times before, and all of a sudden you get the TV spot and there's an old logo there, and you're what file did you pull this from?
Right.
I actually think recently J. Cole, which was it just still said Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. And we're please, please take it down. And just like, the communication to get to whoever it is
Yeah.
handling certain specific tours website.
Right, right, right.
Luckily it's still similar. It's not like we're going to a completely different sponsor, but yeah, it's fun. So I give a lot of people credit out there.
It just means you did such an amazing job branding it the previous time,
Yes,
right?
that's a great way to look at it. People don't want to
Yeah.
abandon it.
Well, Carrie, we know a little bit about Rocket Arena, but now tell us a little about your role and what you're doing these days.
Sure. So my role here, my job is really split into both. So I handle all the arena marketing and I help all the shows if they need media buying. I support our PR team, handle the social media, and then on the other side, 50% of my job is I handle all the media buying for the Cavs. So my job is really split 50-50 between the arena and the Cavs. So I do all the media buying for the Cavs, and then I also handle we have a broadcast matrix for the Cavs. So our marketing team, we pretty much write and get everything ready on the marketing side for the broadcast. So when you see lower thirds to promote whatever game or whatever promotion, like myself and Olivia, we really schedule all of that and get the TV spots in and the radio spots in. And I do a lot of duties upon request for the Cavs. Like for example, during the playoffs, we do this sword. It's kind of like a tradition where we get a celebrity or a past player to pull the sword before the game starts.
Yeah.
And so that was my responsibility during the playoffs was to figure out who that person was going to be and get them here, handle their travel logistics. And
I can't help but notice you didn't invite Dave and I up for that.
I know we would have been great sword pullers.
I know people now are who's going to be the sword person? So that's been really fun. And then with this exhibit, that was a huge
Talk to us about the exhibit.
Yeah, let's talk about this. I mean, you're now. I mean, what a thing to put on your resume. You're a curator. You're
Sure.
I've had a museum curator before.
curator.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, tell us about everything that's gone into that. It seemed like you were pretty in the weeds of it too, which maybe was fun. But I think I saw on your Instagram literally yesterday that you had a steamer that you were probably steaming uniforms and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What was that experience like? Was it fun to just kind of be really just polishing everything? I'm sure.
Basically, so my boss, he's on the board of the library, and they gave us an opportunity. They said, hey, we have Brett Hall, which is this huge, absolutely beautiful room in the main library downtown Cleveland. And they said, hey, if you want to celebrate the 10-year anniversary, because we're doing almost an entire campaign, we opened a basketball court in June to celebrate the 10-year. But they were like, if you want to do
the
an
10-year anniversary of the Cavaliers championship.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So they said, if you want to do an exhibit, the room is yours. And that was pretty much it. So
they were like, Carrie, we're going to do an exhibit. The room is yours.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So I walk in the room and I'm just trying to visualize really what the story of that time was. And I lived it. That was my first season with the Cavs. So
Yeah.
for me, and as a Cavs fan, I was just thinking okay, when you walk in, you see the team, you want to introduce the 2016 team, and then truly the drama of being down 3-1 was another piece of the exhibit. That was the second portion. And then you go into game 7, the championship, and then the parade, which fun fact, I planned the parade at the time. That was my first project when I came to the Cavs.
Wow.
Man, a parade.
Yeah. So even my notes, I curated all the display cases, all the pieces that go into this exhibit. I picked out every single little piece, and in the parade display case, you can see my notes of what the route was of the parade and
Nice.
the unit list of everyone that was in it. But I just really worked with everyone in this organization. I was like, does anyone have anything that they want to put in here? Did anyone save anything? Because unfortunately, we did not catalog or save anything from that time, which I was shocked. I was like, okay, now we've learned that lesson that if a big thing happens, we really need to save some. We didn't have uniforms. We didn't have the shorts, the black shorts was the hardest thing to find. I was driving to an ex-player's son had the shorts. So I'm like
Oh
driving
my
to Shaker Heights to like
God.
meet this man to get his shorts and
I was gonna
like,
say, were you on eBay trying to
oh yeah.
like get decent prices down from these Uber collectors?
Yeah, I was on eBay and even some of our like employees that worked here during the time, like they had some really cool items like
When you're living it, you just don't think about
great.
I mean, you're aware of it in the moment, but you're not thinking about archiving things.
And what was cool was like back then was paper tickets. So just like getting that game seven ticket,
Yes.
really cool. My like goal was like to get the goggles in the locker room, which
Mm,
our head of comms now works for the Dallas Cowboys, and he gave me the goggles. He was in town like a week or two ago, and I was like, "Is there any chance you have the goggles?" Because he was there in the locker room, and he's like,
yeah.
"Actually, yeah, I do." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was so excited. I was like, "Okay, I need the goggles. I'll give them back to you. I promise." But yeah, so just the whole vision was really fun, and it all came together. And it was really fun to open it on Saturday. It's free and open to the public, so kids that weren't even born during that time came through with their parents, and it was just like a cool.
Well, how cool was it to see it actually come together?
It was
Once you
awesome.
had that moment where it was open.
I like honestly, I got choked up like walking through it and seeing all the photos, and it was such a happy moment for Cleveland, and it was it'll never like tarnish anything that we had. Like it was such a good time. Like 2016, like it'll live on forever, and I hope some of the players come back and go through it if they're in Cleveland. I just want everyone to come and relive that year. So it was really fun to put that together.
It's got to be, I mean, you mentioned this, but also outside of just having the community be able to remember it and curating all of the little intricacies, like personally to you, because you were like, this was your first year. Like that, what a way to reflect on that. It's like, it's not only, doing it for the sake of celebrating that, but it's like really getting you to remember your first year of coming in. I mean, that's got to
Sure.
feel like super full circle where you're seeing it like, whoa, it's like
Yes, yes.
I'm making a museum of year one of Carrie. It's like
Yeah,
it's got to be really odd and kind of emotional and fun and exciting, and just makes it even more personal, I'm sure.
absolutely. No, it's awesome. So if you guys ever come to Cleveland, I would love for you to see it before January.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say a lot of times we get invited to go places, and Paul and I are always like, "Oh, we'd love to go." Cleveland, I think I can pull off, right? So for me, I think that's not
Well,
that's
a
not
lot
too.
easier for you, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
not too far for me.
Yeah.
I still have it on my list. I'm gonna self-own myself, and like I want to go to Cleveland. I haven't been to the Rock Hall. I haven't been to all
Oh
these
Oh,
yeah.
things.
Paul,
I'm
you
like,
could maybe
I
pick me up on the
know.
way.
Right.
Okay, can I? Okay, thanks. I'll swing by, Dave.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Rocket Arena's 30th anniversary. We've been talking, I know, a lot about anniversaries, but this is another big thing that a lot of people in this industry face and try to figure out how they're going to plan these things and what do we do, right? And do you celebrate a 30th anniversary because 20 is cool and 25, but at some point you go from being cool to being old, which I know there was obviously some big, right? But I mean, there's some
Yeah.
big renovations. And at some point it gets iconic, when you get to the 100-year anniversary of like an Ohio Stadium or something. So tell me about the 30th anniversary and how you guys decided what you wanted to do and what you pulled it together here.
So we started thinking about it like maybe like the spring before that, the fall of when we kicked, because our anniversary was in October of 2024, and we had the Rock Hall inductions at our building that year. So it was like it was like the day after our actual anniversary date. So it was like the perfect way
Perfect. Yeah.
for us to kick off the 30th anniversary campaign. And so we decided to throw a little party the night before the Rock Hall inductions. And our CEO was like, we got to make it cool. We got to make it fun. Like, what could we do? Like, he is like the biggest dreamer. And I love that because like then I get to like actually execute it. So I was like, he's like, let's get a DJ. And I was like, okay. I'm like, and I like personally love Diplo. Like if you ask anyone, like I'm like Diplo's biggest fan. And I just threw it out there as like, do you think he would actually do this? And I was like, what about Diplo? And he was like, I love it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, are you sure? So I like go back to my desk and I was like, I still get goosebumps. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to book Diplo for this party. And so he was available. So we booked him as our DJ. And then we decided, let's do a drone show to celebrate the history of the building. And the party unfortunately had to be on an off-site location because the rock hall was loading in. So we did it like right over the bridge of Cleveland in this club called Truss. And I was like, okay, we're gonna do a drone show, but I'm like, okay, it's in a small, like Ohio City is like a neighborhood. It's kind of like the short north almost in a way. Like, I'm like, where on earth are we gonna like lift off all these drones? Because it's like hundreds of drones. So my sister works at the local high school that's like a couple streets over, and I was like, Emily, I'm like, I need to borrow your football field for this drone show. And she's like, are you insane? Like, it's football season for St. Ignatius. And I was like, it worked out, but so we had a drone show, like showing all the old logos of the building and like
Cool.
going through the history of like the Cavs and the Monsters. And so it was just like such a cool, we invited like staff and employees that worked, the past 30 years, people that were in town for the Rock Hall inductions. So that was just like the best way to kick off the 30th anniversary. And then we rolled into the Cavs and Monster season and we did some throwback theme nights. We made like a fun, we called her Aunt Pearl because like Pearl is like the 30-year like gift you're
Sure.
supposed to give.
Yeah.
So we made
Ah, yeah.
we made a ball out of pearls. We had all of our celebrities like hold the Aunt Pearl when they came into town, whether it was concerts or people that came to games. We did all kinds of giveaways. And then we changed our name in February of that season. So we did another drone show to
And you're
celebrate our
like,
new
can we
name.
rehire Diplo one more time?
Right.
I have an idea.
I
Hear me
know.
out.
Let's run it back like
Let's
one
run
more
it back.
time.
Yeah.
Now people are calling me Queen of Drones because I think I've done 3 drone shows.
Queen of
So
drones.
yeah.
Wow. They're fun. I've only been in, well, Dave, I know you've been involved in one. You did one for like 21
Yeah, we just had
Pilots.
one with 21 Pilots.
We've
That was
done a
pretty cool.
couple, and yeah, I mean, they're logistically, but I feel like they're so much easier now too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up because I think if venues were thinking that they're impossible, there's so many companies that do them now. Like it's
Mhm.
much more affordable today than it was like 4 years ago, or certainly
Right.
4 years ago. But even, gone are the days where only Lady Gaga at a Super Bowl can do it. It's
Mhm.
like people can work with regional companies and pull it off. And there's so many great possibilities with it. But that's a pretty cool title, Queen of the Drones.
Yeah. Yeah. Just add it to, my resume as well. I can
Queen
do
of the
drone,
Drones,
exhibits,
curator. Yeah.
whatever. Whatever you guys need.
So obviously, you've got a lot of creativity there, and tell us what does your team look like? I know you mentioned Olivia there that you work with, but is it just the two of you on the arena side, and then the Cavs obviously I'm guessing have their own marketing team that you work with, even though you're doing the media buying and finding sword pullers.
Yes. So Olivia and we are the venue team. So we're just, the dynamic duo. We hope to grow it eventually down the road, but it's the two of us. And then on the Cavs side, it's pretty big as far as we have a graphic design team, a video team, our game operations team that handles everything like writing the script for the game, mascots, entertainment teams. And then we have a marketing team, integrated marketing team that handles really coming up with all the theme nights, all the giveaways. Like it's incredible, like the process. Like when somebody sees a bobblehead, they have no idea like what the process is
Yeah.
to get that done and the timing, the approval. Like I
Yeah.
really give that team a lot of credit for, all the creativity that they come up with for keeping it fresh every season. We also have a retail team. So a lot of NBA teams, they outsource their retail and we do everything in-house. So we have a warehouse in Parma that houses everything. So like when you order a jersey online, like our team is fulfilling those orders out in Parma. And it's pretty incredible. Like we don't have that big of a team, but we do quite a bit, which I think is awesome.
I always find it fascinating the dynamic between sort of the venue entertainment side of arenas and the team side, regardless of the league, because I think there is literally no one situation that
Everybody's
is
a little bit
like another.
different.
Mhm.
Everyone is a little different. Sometimes the creative is in the middle, sometimes it's on one side or the other, supporting both sides. Sometimes they're very like church and state, like you have a hard time working with each other. But what have you found kind of I mean, it feels like probably you have a benefit and that you do have like, one leg in the Cavs side doing media buying. Like, have you found that that's made for a really great like dynamic collaboration between you all? Because I know it, and is it challenging when you're talking to other venues where you're like, oh, we're a little different than you, we're a little different than you, and
Yeah, I think a big advantage for us is the fact that Olivia and I handle the broadcast side of things because we do get to put our shows in the Cavs broadcast, which is a huge value to those
Yeah.
shows.
sure.
And, and even like for like in-game giveaways, like I have such a great relationship with our game ops team that like if we want to bring a WWE wrestler into town and do like a fun timeout and a pump up piece, like we've used Miz from WWE for our actual like playoff
He's a Parma boy.
video. Yeah, exactly. Like he has so much pride in Cleveland, and we've used him like for the intro of our playoffs like numerous years. And it's just a good way for all of us to work together. And, they're fans of the shows that come through. And I am very, very thankful that we work so closely together, just for the creativity side of things. And even with the 30th anniversary, like there were so many cool moments to, tie in the Rock Hall with certain giveaways or, it's been great so far.
Are you
So.
able to use like their graphics team like when you're doing graphics for shows, or is that something where it's very church and state also?
No, I use them to put our venue assets together. I do sometimes use like outside artists, especially for the backstage experiences. I use a lot of local artists to come up with posters or graphics or whatever it is we want to do backstage. I try to outsource a little bit, but I do use our internal staff for the venue assets, which is great.
Carrie, there are one of the things that I say to almost every guest before we start a podcast, before we hit the record button is there are no gotcha moments in a podcast, right? I say there are no moments where we're going to surprise you with something that's going to make you uncomfortable. Today I'm breaking that rule.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh.
I found when I was doing my research for this episode, I found a 2008 interview you did when you were 23 years old with Cleveland Magazine.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you some of the questions they asked you when you were 23
Yeah.
to see if your answers are still the same.
Okay.
This sounds fun.
First, I asked, were you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm still a night owl for sure. Like mornings are not for me.
That's what you say. Yeah, that's what you said at 23. Are you the life of the party or quiet and mysterious?
I'm a Leo, so I should be like the life of the party, but I am more on the quiet side, but I still like to party, but I'm definitely more on the reserved. I'm a July Leo, which is different than an August Leo, so
Sure.
August Leos are the life of the party.
They asked you if you were more into books or magazines. You said magazines, but do you remember what two magazines you quoted as being your two go-tos?
I used to love Nylon a
Yeah,
lot. I don't know what the other one was.
Flaunt.
Oh, Flaunt.
Oh,
Okay.
you were a big reader of Flaunt back in the day.
I still am. Yeah.
I used
I
to
don't
love
know.
Alternative Press magazine too.
Oh,
They're from
nice.
Cleveland.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Dressing up or dressing down?
I still like to dress up.
Something you can't live without.
Oof.
Ooh.
Something I can't live without. I mean, I would say my family. Is
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
that
there you
what I
go.
said?
That's exactly what you said.
Oh my gosh.
You said they're always there for you.
Yeah, they really are.
Your sister loaned a field for you to launch drones. I mean,
Exactly. What would
classic.
I do? Yeah.
So you are on Insta, and are you okay if we give your Insta handle publicly?
Yeah.
I followed you on Insta for quite a while, but you are Wizzy Sis,
Hmm.
WIZZYSIS on Insta,
Yeah.
and a great follow. But tell me where that handle came from.
So I used to work for Live Nation before I came to the Cavs. And my phone, when I worked at Blossom Music Center, like the backstage is like very echoey. And I had like this like whizzy, like wizardy, like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like kind of like a phone ring that like I guess I just didn't have it on silent, but our production manager, Lori, was like, "Who is that? Wizzy?" And then she just kind of like turned like my name into Wizzy Sis, and it's just kind of stuck. So I remember my friend Brooke when like Twitter just came out. I was like, "What should my handle be?" And she's like, "Well, you're Wizzy Sis. Like you got to be,
You
that's
got
your
to be
name."
Wizzy Sis.
Yeah. So, and it's still stuck, like still sticks. Like Lori and Brooke and all my friends, they still call me Wizzy, and Yeah, it's just Wizzy Sis. That could be a DJ name too.
Yes, right?
I know.
You could open
Opening
for
for
Diplo.
Diplo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking
I
into
love that.
existence.
Yeah.
Diplo could open for you.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
So, you mentioned working at Live Nation, and but let's go back a little bit before that because you we're going to school both at the Ohio Media School and Bowling Green State University. Did you always
Mhm.
know you wanted to get into the live events kind of thing?
Oh yeah. I think even in high school, like as soon as I got my driver's license, I was out of here. I was going to shows everywhere. I drove my parents crazy. I would end up in New Jersey and all these places to go see shows. Like I wanted to just work in the live music world. I wanted to go on tour. I remember emailing Kevin Lyman in high school. I don't, for some reason, he put his email
Nice.
address in Alt Magazine, and I was like, "Dear Mr. Lyman, how do I get into the music business?" And I was shocked he replied like with some really solid advice about joining a street team and really like making contacts and, just start wherever you can. And so when I got to Bowling Green, I knew I wasn't going to stay there. I was there for literally a semester and I dropped out and, my parents were not happy about that. But I was like, I promise you, like, I'm going to get it together. I'm going to work in this business. And I started, my first like job was really like, I was the phone operator at like Clear Channel Radio. I sat at the front desk and I was
Great.
on the street team. And then I also worked with Derek Hess, who's a local artist here. He does a lot of really incredible posters for bands. He had a merch line. So that was kind of like my first like really like job, I guess, in the industry before I got over to Belkin.
Those are great first jobs though, because you're touching a lot of stuff with that between the street team and even literally answering phones. Like
Mhm.
On the
you're
front
hearing
lines.
people. Yeah, you're on the front lines. And I mean, I think sometimes like the first jobs that like break people into these industry or this industry, sometimes the best ones are that because you're already familiarizing yourself with other people, even if they don't know you, or they may learn to know you. And then as you're kind of growing your career, it's like, yeah, I was the person answering that phone, or I
Right.
remember you called me every Thursday or whatever to talk to this person. But I mean, is there stuff from those years that you feel like you just really appreciate more in hindsight than maybe you did back then?
I think especially with working for Derek Hess, I remember he just came out with his clothing line and it was almost before influencers. I mean, that really wasn't a thing back then. He just wanted bands like My Chemical Romance and Taking Back Sunday and all like the emo kind of bands to wear his merch on stage. So I was just driving boxes of merch to the grog shop and I went to like Hellfest in New Jersey. I went to Bamboozle in New Jersey just to like pass out his merch. And it was like that it was a great way to start like touring, I guess, in a way. Like
Yeah.
just kind of like get out there and like just try to do business and like try to get these guys to like wear this merch was just it was a good experience for me to like learn kind of that whole world and what it's like to be, I guess, living out of my Honda Civic or whatever I was driving at the time. But no, that was just like a really good, just like first experience working for him. And he had so many connections in the music industry. And I really, appreciate like my time with him was great.
We talked about things that are iconic to the early 2000s. Let's talk about the Black Eyed Peas
Oh,
because you spent 6 months as a production assistant
hmm.
for the Black Eyed Peas World Tour. What was that like?
Yes. Okay.
And how'd that happen?
That was okay. So my friend Tony, who I met like going to Warp Tour and all these different shows. He was the Black Eyed Peas tour accountant. And I was bothering him all the time. I'm like, I just want to go on the road. Like, please, if you ever hear of anything. So he's like, okay, like this is your opportunity. We need a production assistant. So I remember the interview. I was in a CVS parking lot and I was talking to their production manager and he's like, do you have a passport? And I was like, yes. And he was like, do you have a laptop? And I was like, yes. And I really did not have a laptop. I went to the Apple store after I hung up the phone, and he's like, okay. He's like, the
Yes.
interview, he's like, well, if
Yeah.
you really want to go on the road, like the job is yours. And that was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is my dream. And so I remember we
Yeah.
started the tour in Boston. I was on a bus with 10 men. I was the only woman. We had 11 people on a bus. There were 12 bunks. And we traveled all over the country. We traveled all over Canada. We went to South America. and Rihanna was our opener.
Nice. Wow.
And the Pussycat Dolls. So
Yeah.
it was a pretty cool show. And just working for them, I felt like their little sister. I mean, Fergie, I taught her, I was like, you need to get on Facebook because Facebook was kind of like a college thing before it turned
Sure.
into like Facebook,
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook. Like you need to make a profile. And she really like took me under her wing and she was actually coming out with her solo album at the time. So I got to go on all her like TV appearances. Like we were at Letterman and The View and like traveling all over New York with her. And I just honestly, like, I can't say enough good things about that group. Like, I just love them so much. And it was such a cool experience.
Do you think that after 6 months you were like, okay, I've had an I'm done with life on the road. I've done it, or because you didn't make that your life.
I did not. I was working for Michael Belkin before I left with them for not for very long, but Michael, I think I came home for Thanksgiving and I came here to what was the queue at the time to meet with Michael. And I think he was working like it was like Red Hot Chili Peppers or a show here. And he's like, "Do you think you're done with the road? Would you ever come back and work for us?" And I was like, yeah. And I was kind of like tired, like exhausted from the road thing. And I was like, actually, I would come back and work for you again. And so I finished out the South America tour and came back and started working for Michael again, which was great because it was I got to do the touring thing. And even like I've done some side projects, like I've worked for Metallica. I got to work Desert Trip in California when that happened, which was really cool for a couple weeks. So I still like to dip my toe in the
Get to
production.
scratch the itch every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least you did, I think people wonder about going on tour so much and then they're like, I don't know. And then, but they never try it or they may long for it and then they don't know what a grind it is. And so I think
Yeah.
it's great that you did it and had such a great experience. And then you can check it off and be like, yeah, maybe that was a moment in time. And little Carrie who was like, I want to be on a tour. You can be like, all right, I was on a tour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was amazing. And it makes me appreciate like for all like the backstage stuff we do for tours now. Like
yeah,
in my mind, I'm
true.
like, well, what would they want? Like,
Perspective. Yeah.
yeah. So I think the only gift I got when I was on tour was they gave us a laundry bag when we first started with our name on it, and I thought that was really cool.
But it's a
I
Do you
little
think I
still
thing
have
got
that?
sometimes, right?
Do you still
Yeah.
have the laundry bag?
yeah. So if anyone needs a gifting idea, you should get a tour laundry bags
Tour
because
laundry bag. They're
yeah,
going
with
to
your
put
name
that
on
in the
it.
Black Eyed Peas Museum
Right.
in 10 years, so hold on to it.
We should do an exhibit for them. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
So then you spent about a decade working directly for Live Nation. But tell us about what you did during that run and kind of what different roles you had.
So at Live Nation, before Live Nation, it was called Belkin Productions, and I started as a marketing assistant. So a gentleman by the name of Dan Kemmer was there, and he was there for a very long time.
Dan
I'm sure
Kemmer, the
you know
first promoter
him.
that ever yelled at me. I'll never and I love Dan, by the
Yes.
way. But it was it was in the '90s, and we were all a
Oh
little
yeah.
rougher edged.
So I was Dan's assistant, and he had an opportunity to go to Indianapolis. So he taught me, like I say to a lot of people, I went to like Belkin University because
Yeah.
between Dan, Michael, and Barry, like they really taught me everything about media buying. I mean, at the time we were faxing media buys and remember like we had to fax press releases, like like
Yeah.
that is like aging me, but they taught me, how to put the ad packs together, how to write a press release, how to do, all like the guerrilla marketing. Like that is Barry's like forte is like figuring out ways to get, companies, like a Giant Eagle or whoever it is to like do promotions for you. Like I learned
You really
so
did learn
much
from
from
the best, some
them.
of the best in the business.
Yeah.
Barry
And
Barry fucking Gable, right?
right.
As his he's got the hat with it.
Our office was in Chagrin Falls and it was literally, I mean, we didn't have a big team. It was myself and I worked all the shows at Blossom and Nautica and Toledo Zoo and I worked with you, Dave, in Columbus, Pittsburgh for a little bit. So it was great. I mean, I actually went through a box the other day trying to find Cav stuff, but just like seeing all the credentials, I'm like one of those people that saves their credentials,
Yeah,
but
yeah, so do
it's
I.
just incredible like how many shows, I've worked and, it was an awesome opportunity and I'm very grateful for the Balkan family.
So then you spent about a year at House of Blues. Talk to us about that.
hmm So once I transitioned over to the club, so a guy by the name of Phil Kosh, he was the booker for House of Blues at that time. And I love Phil. We are still very good friends. I really wanted the opportunity to work for him. So I worked at the club for about a year. And then Phil was like, "Hey, I'm going to Texas." And I was like, "No." And like, because like as a marketer, you become like really close with your booker. Like that is, you guys are working so closely together. And
Sure.
when he told me he was going to Texas, I got the call from the Cavs that said, "Hey, we're looking for a marketing manager over here because the woman that was here, Chris Lesko, she was moving on to a different position." And it was just like the stars kind of aligned at the time. Like LeBron just came back. And that was just, I was like, "Hey, like I I would be interested in like moving into the arena and sports side." So the timing
And
honestly
then
couldn't
you
have
were
been
the
worse.
good luck charm.
Right.
They not added you, 2016 maybe never happened.
Right. I agree.
Carrie, we talked a lot about, Carrie at the office, but tell us about what you do in your free time.
My free time, I love to garden. That's like my new thing right now.
Oh, okay.
Into gardening and coming up with like all my herbs. I like to make cocktails with them. And
Nice.
I just went fishing like a week ago, like to get some walleye.
Wow.
So I'm like really into fishing and gardening right now. I have a dog. Her name's Luna. It's a pit bull rescue. So it's just like I like to spend time with my dog. I still like to go to shows in my free time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really great clubs in my neighborhood. So I just try to like go out and see, DJs or new bands. Yeah. So
And you curate, museum
yeah,
exhibits. That was, I'm
right,
sure, a little bit of your time, but
right.
that's
I
awesome.
like to
Catching your own
travel.
fish, making your own herbs for
Right.
cocktails. I mean, you're setting up to go retire in a countryside somewhere and
Yeah.
self-sustain.
Hey, you mentioned the Rock Hall a couple times today. Obviously, being the birthplace of rock and roll, you've got a great connection there. Are you able to work with them on some cross promotions on some things?
Yeah, they are so great to work with as partners. Whether it's, like Rod Stewart's going to be here in a week, just coming up with different ways to promote, whether they're in the Rock Hall or not, like they're always doing concerts on their plaza that we can work together with them. With the Rock Hall inductions, obviously, like that's a huge project for us to work on together. But even they have such a resource of contacts too. Like if I'm looking for someone's publicist. I reach out to their PR team. Like we work so close. And even like their behind the scenes tour, like if bands come into town and they want to head over there before they, play
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love like the vault tour that they give. If you've never had the vault tour, I highly recommend it. It's kind of like the stuff that's not on the floor.
I'm adding it
So
to my Cleveland list.
yeah, you should check it out. It's really cool. They have pieces that you could say any artist and they'll bring out something that has to do with them, which
There we
is
go.
it's amazing.
If you've never been to the Rock Hall of Fame, I can't recommend it enough for anybody who's a serious music fan.
hmm
It's just it's. I was there for the grand opening in 95, I think it was, and it's just I get emotional going through there. It's really really
Yeah. Even doing the exhibit, I was thinking like my favorite exhibit ever was the John Lennon exhibit that they did like
oh that
a
was
long time
so
ago.
powerful.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
I think
oh my
about I
gosh.
think about that all the time. I really
Right.
do.
Me too. That was like iconic. So I just, yeah, they put on incredible exhibits. I think they have a Paul McCartney one on right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, you
Wings,
should definitely.
wings. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, love them.
All right, Carrie, before we wrap things up here today, I want to hit you with our fast five. It's just five quick questions looking for your short, immediate response.
Okay.
First up, what was your very first concert?
My first concert was New Kids on the Block at Rich
Yeah.
Coliseum, and it's like so fun to work their shows now because it's like, oh my gosh, like I think I was like 7 years old, and I went with my older sister, and she did not want me to go because she's like, oh, it's she was like the cool teenager, and she's like, I
Yeah.
don't want to sit there, and yeah, but New Kids on the Block, Richfield Coliseum was
Are
my
you gonna
first.
go? Are you gonna go out and see them at Sphere?
Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, you
I
should.
I just went to see No Doubt at the Sphere, which was awesome.
Oh yeah, that looked awesome.
Seen
Yeah.
video, it looks pretty cool. Hey, do you have an all-time favorite concert?
So my favorite concert, I was working, but I brought it up briefly, but Desert Trip in Indio, California, Neil Young was performing, and it was in like during the harvest moon. Like the moon was like in
Mm.
full, like it was a full
Like
moon.
literally a harvest moon.
Yes, exactly. It was like a flashlight in the sky, and he kind of just stopped and looked up, and he's like, "Well, I just think this is appropriate." And he sang Harvest Moon, and I was like, "Oh my God! Like I am in heaven right now." He sounded so good. That was like, oh, that was amazing. So I would say that was like my favorite concert moment.
Who's your favorite Black Eyed Pea?
Oh, that's so hard.
Don't
I
make
mean,
don't make her answer that.
you know I love Fergie
Which one
first.
do you hate the most? Yeah.
No, Fergie's my girl. I love Fergie.
Hey, what
Fergalicious.
what do you love most about Northeast Ohio?
I love the lake. I love the water, but I love the people and everyone is really nice here. And everyone works really hard. I think like we have a really good work ethic. I'm really proud to be from here. It's like if you go to any other city, it's like, oh, like you're from the Midwest, you're from Cleveland. Like, we're always the underdog, and I love that. Like it's just, I don't know, I love Cleveland. I can't say enough good things about this place.
Last question for you. What's your theme song? So there's a reality TV show where cameras follow you around. What's the song that plays over the opening credits of the Carrie Samek show?
Uh, I would say only because it's like it's kind of kooky, but Ghost Town by the Specials, like it has such like a weird like my show would be
Or
like
the Wizzy Sis
Billboard.
vibe?
Yeah, like that's a Ghost Town. I love that song. Like I don't care what time of year it is, it's like that is my song. So
Carrie, throw out any plugs if people want to follow you. Obviously, we mentioned your Insta there, but if people want to find you or follow the venue or the teams, what are the, throw out any plugs you want to throw out here?
So my handle is Wizzy Sis. If you want to see what's going on in Cleveland, Rocket Arena, the Cavs, the Monsters. Yeah, just please everyone, just come visit us in Cleveland. Our season starts pretty soon, and there's nothing like fall in Cleveland, so it's
And come
pretty
see the exhibit, right? It's up until January, you said. So
January
yeah, that's
2nd.
awesome.
Hmm.
So cool. That's so cool. I actually really do want to check that out because I can't imagine being tasked with that. And
Yeah.
some of the stuff you've done there really creative. Congratulations to you and your team on the great work
Thank
you're doing.
you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And thanks to everybody for listening to this episode of Adventures in Venueland. Remember, you can subscribe and find more episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We do love your 5-star reviews because it helps other folks find us. Until the next adventure, I'm Dave Rettelberger.
And I'm Paul Hooper. Thanks for listening, everyone. Adventures in Venueland is a side project of the Event and Venue Marketing Conference, a marketing conference that brings together diversified event and venue professionals to cultivate education, collaboration, and innovation for the growing sports and live entertainment industry. Find out more at eventvenuemarketing.com.
Audio editing and mixing by Camille Faulkner.
Design and digital advertising by Megan Ebeck.
Copywriting and publicity by Samantha Marker.
Guest booking and brand strategies by Paul Hooper.
Guest research by Dave Rettelberger.
Marketing strategies by Paul Hooper, Megan Ebeck, and Samantha Marker. Thanks for joining us. Until the next adventure.